Right now at noon, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment heads to the city of Galena to help investigate the source of an unknown odor.
And we're a little bit warmer today, a little bit of sunshine out there, a little bit of cloud cover as well. We'll have a look at that forecast, talk just how warm it's going to get coming up.
Plus, cold weather vehicle maintenance you don't want to forget about.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. New at noon today, a Pittsburgh neighborhood has become the site of a controversy involving an in-home daycare's conditional use permit. Sheena Cosman is hoping to start Play to Learn care out of her home after becoming CPR certified, licensed by the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and inspected by a fire marshal. Now neighbors have created a petition against the permit, citing concerns involving increased traffic, the daycare's hours, and the family's dog. These concerns were brought up in a planning and zoning meeting during which the commission issued a recommendation to approve the permit. The city commission will discuss the permit during tonight's meeting at 5:30. You can hear more about the neighborhood's concerns and directly from the family involved tonight at 5. The city of Galena brings in the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to investigate the source of a citywide stench. According to the mayor, officials are meeting with KDHE on Friday. They are not yet sure what the investigation will look like. Now, this all comes after numerous resident complaints about sulfur smell, particularly in the area north of 4th Street. The mayor told KOAM's Melissa Alexis yesterday afternoon that the smell could potentially be related to the landfill, although no one is certain yet. Previously, KDHE said the smell wasn't likely coming from it.
I don't know if it's a lack of adequate cover, which again they're doing, there's no violation there, so everything is being done right, but if there's still some stench that could come up from there.
About 2 weeks ago, KDHE came to Galena and conducted a study which confirmed there are no violations relating to the landfill. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a slightly warmer day out there, not significantly so, but believe it or not, we are going to be significantly warmer and then significantly colder again because it's January and that's the way Mother Nature plays. Quick look outside our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell complex. We've got clouds out there. Now Joplin getting a little more sunshine. We do have a thick layer of clouds roughly in between Joplin right over Pittsburgh, and it kind of stretches over toward Jasper, so in between, say, Carthage and Lamar. So Jasper, you've got the clouds. Lamar, Carthage, you've got some sunshine, but you can see those clouds. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin looking back to the east, also looking pretty good. So yesterday, we started at 13 degrees, made it up to 34, so not quite where we're supposed to be, but conditions improving. Look at this, we're already at 41 in Joplin, and you can see it's a little darker here in Pittsburgh, 36. We got that cloud cover. Where that cloud cover's been, keep it a little cooler. That boundary now right where it's supposed to be, so a little cooler to the north into the 30s. We've even got mid and upper 40s in our southern counties out there, so depending on where you are is going to be, going to depend on what your temperature is, determine your temperature. We're eventually going to fall back through the mid-20s as we head through the late evening hours, and skies will actually become mostly clear overnight, which means it's going to get pretty cold as we drop back into the upper teens. Then it's going to start to get really warm, and then as I mentioned, it's going to get really cold again. Details on all that coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, winter just got a little bit warmer for some kids in Southwest Missouri. Yesterday, Children's Haven of Southwest Missouri presented 120 brand new coats to children in need. The event was made possible thanks to a partnership with Frank Fletcher Subaru of Joplin and Operation Warmth.
For somebody that kind of grew up with in and out of homes and not having very stable childhood, being able to provide for a community and a establishment such as here where we're doing this for children that are in need, especially where it's cold and snowing outside right now.
Since 2003, Children's Haven has served families in Southwest Missouri, providing more than 50,000 nights of safe, nurturing care to more than 8,000 children. Many are taking advantage of the dry time to care for and check on their vehicles after our ice and snow last week. Nick Kelly reports it's also a busy time for repair shops.
While some in the Ozarks waited for road conditions to improve after wintry weather this month, others had to venture out on the roads. Unfortunately, some who got out during the dicey road conditions ended up with damage to their vehicle. That's keeping body shops busy.
We were actually getting tow-ins that same day, the first day of the storm, and then ever since then, a lot of the tow lots try to get to those cars as quickly as they can. And
Cars, SUVs, four-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive vehicles were no match for the icy roads that left behind damage to wheels, suspension components, and other body parts. Parts were initially hard to get in for repairs due to road conditions outside of the state, but they're now arriving in large quantities. That means if you sustain damage and need repairs, even if shops are busy, don't wait.
give the body shop a little grace while we dig through this, but the faster you can get us called and get on the schedule, the faster the process begins.
If you stayed off the road and are now finding your vehicle is hard to start, it's likely a dead or drained battery.
It's the clock, the radio stations, the GPS tracking that may be there. So there's things that will draw electricity off of the vehicle even after it's sitting for even a short amount of time.
You can put in a new battery or have your car safely jump-started and taken to a shop. In the future, starting it every few days and letting it run for a brief time will help keep things in working order. Even with some roads still wet, it is a good time to clean your car so snow won't stay on any components under the car. Plus, it's good for getting rid of salt and other road treatments.
It really accelerates the corrosion factor on the undercarriage of the vehicle, and suspension components, exhaust components, exposed metal components under the vehicle will rust literally in a matter of hours.
Now, while it might take a few tries to wash that snow and treatment away, you can do it yourself at any self-serve car wash or any car wash site that offers a good undercarriage spray. Bald eagles are making their way to Missouri, according to the Department of Conservation. Now, the Show Me State has become one of their favorite places to nest thanks to its vast rivers, lakes, and wetlands that provide a steady source of food. In fact, more than 2,000 bald eagles are reported in Missouri this winter season.
Are here year-round in the four-state area, so there are some nesting pairs, and so they'll raise young here, stay here year-round. But there's also in the winter some bald eagles that come from northern Missouri or even further north because our waterways, most of them stay open year-round, so it provides a constant source of food for them. So they'll come down and spend winters here, and then come summer they'll go back up north.
Skokie says it's illegal to tamper with the bald eagle's nest. And some drivers in Joplin will need to take a detour in the coming days. Starting today, St. Louis Avenue will be closed from 8th Street to Campbell Parkway. Now, this will be a full closure at the railroad crossing to replace the box culvert and stormwater infrastructure. People living in that area will still have access to their homes, but through traffic will need to follow the detour route. Well, coming up, time could be up for a popular social media app. We'll hear the thoughts of some four-staters. And later, we're making crowd-pleasing brisket in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Missouri welcomed its 58th governor yesterday. Governor-elect Mike Kehoe was sworn in on the steps of the state capitol in Jefferson City. Kehoe will replace outgoing Governor Mike Parson, who served as Missouri's governor from 2018 to 2025. Now, in his inaugural address yesterday, Kehoe talked about his priorities of economic development, agriculture, education, and public safety.
Later today, as my first official act as day one as governor, I will take our first steps in securing safety for Missourians. But that's not all. In the coming weeks, months, and years, my administration will be relentless in our efforts to make Missouri a place where it's easier to be a cop than a criminal.
Governor Kehoe wasted no time in acting on what he's calling the Safer Missouri Initiative. Following the ceremony, the governor signed 6 executive orders specifically aimed at crime and immigration. These orders include Executive Order 2502, a regional anti-crime effort that emphasizes cross-jurisdiction collaboration to pursue and apprehend dangerous fugitives. Executive Order 2504 establishes designation with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, to allow state and local law enforcement to assist in enforcing immigration laws. For a complete list of all of yesterday's executive orders and to view Governor Kehoe's inauguration in its entirety, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, there's less than a week until a favorite social media platform may be disappearing from app stores in the U.S. TikTok could face suspension in the U.S. on January 19th unless its parent company ByteDance divests the app. A Pittsburgh TikTok user tells us she's looking at possible TikTok alternatives.
The issues that are coming up, like how do we organize after this? Like if we have something that happens, I've seen people with the fires in LA, they've been able to get more real-time information about the fires coming down the hill that they're living on quicker than anything the government's putting out there. So I mean, it's really like a matter of safety, it's a matter of our freedom of speech, like it's much bigger than a social media app.
Many TikTok users are migrating to another Chinese-owned platform known as RedNote. It's currently the most downloaded free app on the Apple App Store. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Get ready to be surprised by how fast we can make a slow roasted classic. You won't want to miss this one.
And we are tracking a warm-up followed by a cool down. We'll go over all those details with you right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So we are seeing some warmer air out there. Now we had that boundary, it's pushing through as we speak. And so back behind it, it's a little cooler, and ahead of it, it's a little warmer. Let's start by looking outside. We can kind of give you an idea. So this is the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. It's looking east, and so on what would that be? If you're looking at your TV, the right side of your screen, skies are clear. On the left side, so off to the north, we've got that cloud shield rolling in, and those clouds are actually covering Pittsburgh right now, which is why the KDOT camera here on 69 is somewhat dark looking, because it's cloudy. It's also having an impact on temperatures. So here's this boundary as it continues to slide on through this afternoon. It's bringing those clouds with it. It's also got some cooler air back there. So we've got some of you that you've reached your upper 30s for the highs, and that's where you're going to be. Some of our southern counties are a little bit warmer, still sitting even into mid to upper 40s. Those are going to be your highs. And then we've got that band of low 40s out there where our highs are going to cap out as well. Now, as this passes through, we're going to still deal with partly to mostly cloudy skies, and then overnight those clouds kind of thin out. Will be mostly clear for a while tonight, and because of that, if you get outside of those cloud shields, temperatures are going to drop. So now we're talking back into the upper teens and low 20s to start Wednesday. So another cold night out there, but it doesn't last very long. We're going to start to warm up on Wednesday. Now again, it's a similar story though. If you're under the clouds, you're not going to do as much warming as your neighbors who aren't. So out to the west, not as much cloud cover for our Wednesday, so you're going to be a little warmer than those to the east who are going to have to deal with some partly to mostly cloudy skies through the first half of our Wednesday. And we go overnight and into Thursday, the clouds are gone, and we start to see a slight warm up. Even in the lows, we're into the 30s now to start our Thursday. It's still cold, but it's seasonably cold. But take a look at Thursday at noon. Now we've got low, mid, and even some upper 40s out there. Could even see some low 50s, especially in our southern counties for highs as we head into our Thursday. It's going to be even warmer on Friday. So for the rest of today, again, upper 30s, low to mid 40s for most of us, and those winds shifting out of the northeast behind that barrier at 5 to 10 miles an hour. They'll stay out of the northeast tonight. Skies for most of us will become mostly clear, so we'll drop back into the upper teens and low 20s. And we head into tomorrow, and similar to today, a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies before they eventually clear late in the day, and another day of upper 30s, low 40s with a west breeze at 5 to 10. So I talked about the warm-up, so that continues. So near 50 for Thursday, near 60 for Friday, and then by Friday into Friday night, we're talking almost a 40-some-odd degree drop in temperatures with an Arctic air mass that's going to roll in. And it does bring us the colder air. It does bring us additionally some opportunities for some wintry precipitation Saturday and Sunday, but these percentages have continued to drop. Now it's Mother Nature. She can do what she wants. We saw that happen with that low pressure. There was a 5% chance last weekend that it would lift a little further north. It lifted a little further north. We got a lot more snow. So we'll see what happens. But the one thing that's been consistent is this Arctic air that's going to settle in and just make it just feel blah outside. Very cold, but after that clears out, by the middle of next week, we should start warming back up a little closer to normal. So if you've got something to get done the next few days, now's the time to do it before we get that next cold spell in here.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, thanks. Well, stick around. We're making a crowd-pleasing brisket in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard's making comfort food classics this week. He's sharing his recipe for crowd-pleasing brisket in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today we're talking brisket. No, not the kind you find at a barbecue competition. This brisket doesn't require any seasoning rub or long hours in a smoker. The kind we're making today is more of a slow-cooked pot roast, and it goes together like this. This is a fresh brisket, not to be confused with a pickled corned beef brisket that we would serve on St. Patrick's Day. To get this ready for the oven, all we have to do is throw together a basic sauce made from ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. Now, we take a cup of this and add some water to it and pour it into a roasting pan. We place the brisket on top of that, fat side up, and slather it with the rest of the sauce. At this point, the oven does the rest of the work. Once it's fork tender, which takes a few hours, all you have to do is slice it across the grain, and it's ready to serve. To say this brisket is full of flavor is an understatement, and it's so tender. To get the easy recipe for our crowd-pleasing brisket, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a slow-roasted way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so again, we are doing upper 30s, low 40s today and tomorrow. Near 50 Thursday, near 60 Friday. Then we got that about 40-degree drop in temperatures with that Arctic air mass rolling into this weekend. Maybe a few light flurries here and there this weekend. At least that's what we're looking at now, and eventually back to normal by the end of next week. So roller coaster ride starting up again.
Roller coaster indeed, but that warm weather, I'll take that.
It'll be nice, absolutely.
All right, thanks, Chris and Dad here for us later on.
Well, a lot's coming up at 5. The risk of developing dementia in the United States is much higher than previously estimated. That's according to a new study. We're going to take a look at the reasons. Plus, new research indicates college tuition has fallen significantly at many schools. We're going to hear from some area college students on how this has impacted them. And we'll have more on the Pittsburgh woman looking to start an at-home daycare and the controversy involving the daycare's conditional use permit. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely, lots to look forward to. Thank you, Dal. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll, of course, see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.